Good morning, everyone. I'm Sister Jenna, your host for our new America Meditating segment called Wise-ish. It's your power boost for the morning. It's for you to take your dose for your inner cure. Join us every day, Monday through Friday, from 8:30 a.m. to 8:45 ET. Don't forget, take your dose. See you soon. Om Shanti, everyone. Good evening. Welcome. Welcome to your spiritual vaccine time, your daily dose for your inner cure. I'm looking so forward to starting Wise-ish tomorrow. It'll be on the America Meditating YouTube though, and Facebook. So if you haven't gotten onto the America Meditating YouTube, could you do that tonight before we finish the show? America Meditating is the kind of a sub-branch to a lot of the work that we have done with the radio show, and since we've been on lockdown, we have been doing daily recordings for our radio show in terms of on Spotify and iHeart and iTunes, which is where you can find all of the over 15 or 1600 shows that we've recorded. But we haven't put any energy in the YouTube, so we thought that since we're still staying at home and we're still here, I would love to feed some energy into something that I just appreciate so much. It's just a hobby. But the 15-minute Power Boost will offer blessings, insights, inspirational ideas, thoughts, activities, things for this and that. So it'll just be a little fun time, but it's really to get the soul much stronger, to start the morning off on the right note. So that will be our intention for Wise-ish. So hopefully I'll be able to see most of you tomorrow in the morning. So that'll be from 8:30 to 8:45 EDT, which is on the East Coast. And of course, if you're not able to tune in live, you can tune in anytime thereafter, because it'll be on the Facebook and on the YouTube recorded. So I'm looking forward for that. Antonia was saying, Sister Jenna, how much more energy are you going to dish out? I agree. But I'm already up and I'm already engaged, so I figured let me use that next half an hour. As I mentioned to you previously, we start our mornings off at 4 and then maybe take a nap and get back up for a morning class at 6:15 for all the advanced students. And from 6:15 to 8 o'clock, we do a session. So for half an hour, I can de-stress a little bit and Santosh can get a break, and then at 8:30 to 8:45, we'll do Wise-ish. It actually came up, remember Sister Gita, when Sister Gita had a place in Miami, and we were always so engaged with our time, and we would just pick up on a Sunday after class or on a Monday morning. Remember those days? We would like get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, pack the van, and just drive to Miami. And people, when we get to Miami, they'd be like, you what? How do you do it? That's impossible. That's 16 hours. And the three of us would look at each other and go, what are they talking about? It's like the best time in the world. I get a chance to catch up on all the phone calls, remember? So like I would get calls and I wouldn't have a chance to return them. And then myself and everyone in the car, we would go into deep churnings, where we don't get a chance because everyone's in their own pod doing their own aspect of service, but at least for 15 hours we are stuck with each other, and then we just take time and I just listen to great music. There was one particular scene just to show vibrations and intentions, because today's discussion is on intention. Everyone knows how much I loved Tesla. So when Tesla was first released, I was telling everyone, I gotta get a Tesla, this is it. Of course, when I saw the price tag, I go, you all should get a Tesla and come pick me up. So then sure enough, so many of our students bought Teslas. And it was so interesting to experience how at that level of intentionality, where I felt like it was easy for, so many of the wonderful students and friends, they all bought Teslas, that I got that feeling fulfilled. But for the life of me, I couldn't get my own Tesla. I would talk about Tesla. I would do radio shows about Tesla. Anyway, long story short, one time we're driving to Florida, and I just can't believe it. I consider my mind to be so strong, Santosh and Sister Gita, and I don't ask for much. I just want a Tesla. And sure enough comes this 18-wheeler this truck with all Teslas on that truck. And as we were driving, and I looked and I go, this is not what I meant. This is not the kind of Tesla I was expecting. But needless to say that I have to tell you, it's the fact that I had the thought and it was just so pure that right after that thought, here comes this truck. Remember, Santosh, there were 8 Teslas, different colors. And Santosh says, see, sister, you emerge your Teslas. Which color do you want? I go, I'm not taking any of them home. But the intention emerged the manifestation is what I'm saying. But yet, even though maybe at a personal level, and I don't have a lot of personal desires, I really don't, that I wanted that, I didn't want it that bad. You know, that if I had something else where I was bringing in something at a different level, I could get it. But I'm so mindful of just the collective and just how we all come together and make things work for the bigger picture. So that was really a very profound moment. And it goes to show about you can have an intention and it happens immediately when you're detached. Like how I inspired the students, you should get a Tesla, it'll be wonderful. I was very detached from it. When we were in the car talking about Tesla, here comes a truck, 8 Teslas, different colors. I was like, that's not what I meant. And then when he came on to saying, gosh, I want a Tesla, 2 years passed, 3 years passed, no Tesla. And I was like, I forget it. But there was a resistance. And so I knew that even though I had the intention still had a pullback in me where there's no way that was ever going to manifest in the way that I'd like it. So today's discussion is a big one because one of the things that God really wants to teach us is to develop and cultivate such pure intentions in our motives. And because the soul has gone through so much ins and outs, ups and downs, we now carry within our personality and within our vibrational field sometimes a mixed motive. Means a part of me wants to give, but also a very big part of me wants to take. So that's called like a mixture in motives. So sometimes when that mixture is there, it emotes a lack of trust in relationships because even though I might be smiling, somebody's having a different feeling or a different idea about it. So, you know, I might have a different vibe or a different motive. And so there's something about, wait, what's going on? You know, I want to get clear here. And we can never articulate intention and the motive behind why we do what we do because sometimes we're not that honest with ourselves and we're not that clear. But when you are really certain about yourself and you've done the spiritual work, and that's what I love about the teachings of Raj Yoga meditation, it takes you so much into the understanding of the soul and the connection to God and the importance of healing your spirit, that each choice and thought that you take, it's really about clearing up these motives and intentions inside of you. Like, maybe I didn't do it so right a year ago, but this year, there's a pure reason behind why I want to do this now or why I'm telling this to you. It's really important for us to keep asking the question, how do I feel? And if there isn't a tug of war with your feelings, a push and pull, it's a pure intention. If there's a push and pull, it's got a mixture, it's got a motive, there could possibly be a lot of obstacles and tests. So what I'd like to do is give you a wonderful, share with you a wonderful video from Oprah and her journey about, how she checks her intentions and why she's so successful. Is it because she clarifies her intentions very clearly? And I think this video can help to shed some light.
From the moment my partner at Discovery, David Zaslav, walked into my office when I was doing the Oprah show and proposed the idea of doing a network. He came in holding Oprah magazine. I have a magazine too. And said, let's try to create a network that helps people do what you're trying to do in this magazine. I took him at his word, and I took him very seriously because I didn't need another job. I really didn't. I was ready to bring the Oprah show to an end because I believe when you do something well, you got to know when to fold them and know when to walk away. But I always knew that there was a calling on my life that was bigger than a television show. I've always known that. I've always known that my purpose was not just being on TV, but using TV for a greater purpose. And so my desire, along with my partners at Discovery, was to create a network that really allowed you to come and see our programming and allow what you saw to touch you, to move you, and connect in such a way that it would open up the heart space for you, that you wouldn't come and sit in front of our channel and waste your time, that any time you gave me your time, that you would walk away feeling, I never thought of it that way before. I think I'm gonna call my sister-in-law. I think I might be able to go back to school. I think I might be able to clarify what my life really means and stop wasting time. And that is what this life class for the next 6 weeks is all about. What I learned in those 25 years, I was paying attention. And if nothing, I'm obedient. I'm obedient to the call that's on my life, and I'm obedient to listening to life's lessons. And many years, I listened to other people tell their stories so I could avoid their problems. After talking to somebody, I said, I don't want to go through that. So what we're going to try to do here in these next 6 weeks is for you to, through the lives of other people's stories, hearing other people's stories, see your own life, not just to be a voyeur, but to look at other people's stories and see where you fit in that story, using those stories, life experiences, and teachings from our great thought leaders to help you liberate yourself. So you no longer have to sit and wonder about what it is you're supposed to be doing in life, but you can get about the business of owning yourself and owning your power and doing what the Creator put you here to do.
Perfect video, wasn't it? I mean, not to waste your time, not to necessarily listen to other people, but to also sometimes know when certain chapters are closed in your life, what is that next stage, that the purity in your motives, the purity in your call, the purity in your intention is calling you forth. And I feel that the more I practice, and I'm inviting you, the more you practice silence, you'll start to feel that you can pick up thoughts that you generally didn't before. Let me position it this way. Right now, America is under duress. It's been so for a number of years. And things aren't right. And we know it. And we can sense that the intention and the motives of some of God's children has gone astray. And even if we stand up to fight for the good, or to stand up for the good, if I do so with judgment and criticism and hate, it doesn't add to the solution. even though the emotions that we go through are valid. I've asked myself, today I was looking at my friend's broadcast, Stephanie Rule on MSNBC, and her disposition was so calm today. And I could say, wow, this is really serious when you see this. We're coming out of a pandemic. And people are rioting or people are protesting. There's a difference between the two parties. What's the motive? The ones who are protesting, their motives are like, please, we're begging you, fix the system, it's not right. And then the ones who are protesting, the ones who are rioting, do you see the difference of their intention and their motives? And you see the obstacle and the darkness that it co-creates? That's what happens to us in life at times when we're not clear in our motives about decisions that we are making. And they spawn obstacles and difficulties down the road. And when the obstacles and the difficulties emerge, we never point the attention to ourselves to check, was I truthful in this decision that I made? What we generally do is to point the finger at someone or an event or a situation outside of ourselves. And we never do the work to really check from the planting of that seed, was my motive pure? Was my intention pure? And we're approaching that period, everyone. If I don't purify who I am as a soul and being God's child on this planet, if I don't do that work and really come from a place of peace and intentionality and compassion and wisdom, and yet with determination to do what's right and to stand firm for what's right, I suspect that we will find this norm, we will continue to feed this norm of being very mixed in our motives and intentions. And so God can be sending a signal what to think, what to say, and what to do. But if I'm caught up in the consciousness of, let's say, for example, the riot consciousness, I can't even hear what's my purpose and what's my call. So why we now need, now more than ever, to do the real honest excavation of consciousness is that we have to ask, what have I been doing with my life? What's been the reason that I get involved in relationships? What's the motive in me sharing my life with another person? If the motives are because they have money, they have looks, they have a nice house, they have a nice car, they have a good job, it's not enough to sustain any relationship. So my motives are mixed because it's still based on a limited interpretation of maybe my definition of love or my definition of companionship. But let's look at the other side. That I connect to this person at a soul level. And I've given the relationship time to grow. So that we can learn about what are the gifts that we carry within ourselves. And what are those strengths and those virtues. And also, what are the things that they're struggling with. And we use that courting period, that time, to really understand that. And build that energy of trust and truthfulness in the relationship. Well, that's an energy of intention that can make a relationship last. Similarly to the workforce, to our jobs. In Oprah's message, she says, I just knew I was done with the Oprah show. There was nothing more I could give. Only when somebody's honest with themselves do they come to a particular point where they're at the highlight of their life. She's successful. But she says, but I'm done here. So on the outside, producers, directors, owners of the show might have been telling her, no, you've got to keep going. We're number one on the airways. And she's like, yeah, I know we're number one, but I'm done here. You see, that's when you've got to keep listening to yourself. So that energy of listening honestly and authentically is where your intention, becoming pure, will be breathed in you. It'll become your power. It happens in a marriage, in a friendship, in a country, in a religion, in a movement, in a job, with your in-laws, with your relatives, with your food, with an addiction. You go, I'm done here. That's when you're listening to spirit. And when you're listening to the purity of your intention, you see there's good intention, the protest, and there's bad intention, the rioters. Which one do you feed? The rioters have a motive. We don't know who's telling them what to do. We don't know if it's connected to a higher power somewhere here on earth. But the protests are moved by there's something wrong. We can't keep doing this to our brothers and sisters. We all have to stand up for the truth. And if we address this particular scenario that we're witnessing in America, with the amount of anger and rage and all of that, which is valid on many levels, what am I giving to it? How am I helping it? You know, one of the reasons why we started Spiritual Vaccine was to keep our staff and our friends strong. And it has become really a daily routine for all of us to stay connected and to be strong. This exactly was the motive of Spiritual Vaccine. It was, we just want to be served at a spirit level, that we're just stronger after all of this pandemic. And then pandemic is slowly passing, and then look what happens. Riots in the street of America. Killings of innocent, because you're innocent and proving guilty. Lying, stealing, thieving, power controls, greed, deception. Those are souls that are thinking and making choices with a complete absence of God's love. There's no link to the life of the loving energy of God. How can they heal? How can they even begin to heal when they're inflicting so much pain? Hurt people, right? So we have to think about these things more and more. Why do I do what I do? This is my question that I will leave you with tonight to ponder on, that you must ask yourself this question time and time again. Why am I going to call this person? Why am I going to watch this program? Why do I listen to the news for more than 15 minutes? If you keep feeding those thought vibrations, they will affect your emotions, and you will not have the capacity to stand strong when you need to. It is a spiral downward vibrational force, and you can see that it's existing everywhere. I go onto the Twitter, which is what I use the most. If you ever need to connect with me, direct message, you just go on the America Meditate Twitter. I don't do the Facebook much or Instagram much, but Twitter I do. But as I just scroll through it and I pause to get updated, I keep getting this thought in my mind delete your account. You don't even need this. And then the other thought comes, well, you know, you're still offering good news, good stories. Maybe you just don't look at it. And then you get the other thought, well, I do need to stay engaged because sometimes there's some friends. You scroll through 10 awful things and you find one good thing and you're like, is it worth it? You know what I'm saying? We were going on YouTube today, and whether it was searching for a story, a meditation that the Brahma Kumaris has done or something, one particular ad keeps coming up about a birthday greeting for a political leader. And I said, how uninteresting. Every time we go on to any of the YouTube pages, this birthday thing comes up about writing this leader a birthday card. And I go, look at how much money they have, that they can go on a meditation search engine, they can go on a political search engine, an entertainment search engine, a talk show search engine, and their ad comes up. And you're being forced to see this every time. It's interesting, huh? And we might have really good stuff with good content, and we're like, we're not paying for all of that to go out, and yet souls have to feel that vibration. That's what I'm saying. If you feed into the riot consciousness, you won't even hear what the protest in you wants to say. What is best for you and what is no longer best. And the protester in you says, changes need to occur. And they tap into the intentionality of your being. So when we look at the power of intention, you take a deep breath and you pause. And you look at your entire life so far. And you see what errors have you made errors in. And what errors are you now willing to make the real shift in. And you check. And you change. Because the longer we hold on to our weaknesses, when situations become even more dire, and we need the strength, we start to get upset with ourselves that we don't have the power. And if we're not upset with ourselves, we get upset with government. We get upset with the religion. We get upset with our husbands, our wives, our kids, our in-laws, our this. We get upset with everyone because we have now gotten into the result of my riot intention gives me that riot feeling. Chaos. But when I'm showing up for my life for all the right reasons, let my life not be a life that gives sorrow, nor takes it from anyone. And for a soul to develop such a stage, what kind of a intention and interest and attention would you need to have paid on yourself? It's time for humility. It's time for us to have a deeper, living, consistent relationship with God, who's the link of our lives. Nobody out there is talking about God. Our friend Bishop Carlton Pearson said it really well in his message today. Don't keep walking around saying, I can't breathe. Say, I can breathe, and we are going to make changes. If you just imagine you keep repeating this, you're going to not be able to breathe. But if you say, we can breathe, we will breathe, and we are breathing, and these are the changes, you shift the whole thing around. That's when the intention becomes pure. And we're not picking up thoughts because we're so normalized to intentions that are mixed with different motives, anger and peace, fear and love, loss and attainment. But when I'm in my protesting state, we can breathe should be the sign that everyone should go out there. If you're going to protest, put up the sign, "We can breathe. We will find justice." Not "I can't breathe." When you're serving the purity of your intention, and it's pure, God will come and God will help. And He will pave a way for that call to emerge just for you. So as a result of all the tension in our country, and maybe around the world, for those who are listening in Trinidad, Norway, Thailand, Colombia, for the next half hour, I call you to go into a deep meditation. Firstly, to link to the source, to God, and then to find a time for healing, to become this for you and for our world. When your intentions are pure, you're not waiting to get praise or accolades or something in return. You're just a saint moving through the world, picking up your spiritual treasures and leaving your fragrance behind. It's like you're planting seeds for generations to get fruits. How do you protect yourself from the vibrations right now? You've got to be consistent in your meditation. You have to stay in good company. Don't feed yourself too much negative vibrations. Watch spiritual vaccines over and over again. Listen to AM, America Meditating Radio. Keep pushing in, just like how that ad kept coming up. Everything, I tell you, go on YouTube right now and book it, you'll see they're asking for this birthday card to be signed. Every YouTube. Meditation, yoga, religious, entertainment, this thing pops up. I keep pushing it in. I'm inviting you, push in these vibrations. Push them in. Our world needs humility, which has to start with us. Our world needs purity, which has to start from us. Our world needs empathy and compassion, which starts with us. Our world needs truth. It starts with us. Don't think about how life was before. It's not the same. It's time we grow up. And America's no less. It too has to grow up as a nation. So for the next half hour, situate yourself now in your room or in your house, wherever you are with your friends. Call a friend. Tell them to join you online. The collective energy of your pure vibration and transmission of vibrations can lift the energy of your house, your neighborhood, your friendship, your relationships. Call them now. Tell them to join you. Text them the link, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube. And it's going to take you into just a deep, deep submerge. First starting with the connection to keeping your mind positive, then connecting you to God, and then a time for healing, and then just be who you were born to be. Stop playing small and wasting time in matters you have no control over physically, but you only have control over it emotionally and spiritually. I know today's sharing might have been a little bit firmer, but it's because of the conditions that we're in. We're going to need to grow up and get much stronger than we've been, especially if you are the elder children in the planet. You're going to need there to help each other. So, everyone's ready? Thumbs up. Everyone's ready to go? All right? Everyone's okay? All right, so from this point on, if I don't say I'll see you all tomorrow, but for the next half an hour, we'll just go into that really deep stage of submersion. And really just clear out the space, invite the whole family in. Just invite everybody into the space. Everybody in. Tell them, sit here with me. We need to get some pure vibrations in our country. We need to help in whatever way we can. And a powerful and a peaceful mind will do so much work. Okay, so take a deep breath. Inhale. Let's start with a positive mind. Then we'll go into connecting to God. And then we'll go into our time for healing. Enjoy this special half an hour of your time between yourself, God, and the collective. And the collective. Feel free to leave your comments when you wish. I'll look at them later tonight. And I'll see you tomorrow evening. Much love.
The quality of our thoughts determines the quality of our life. And so it becomes very important to pay attention to the type of thoughts we are creating in our minds. A thought is a seed, and depending on the type of seed, so will be the flower and the fruit and even the fragrance. It's so easy to become negative that often we do not realize that we have absorbed ourselves in a negative attitude. We get stuck on what somebody said or did or should have done or didn't do. The negativity circulates in our mind over and over and over again, making us tired, heavy, even unhappy. We all want to be free of such thinking. How can I free my mind? How can I create a positive mind? First of all, let me go inside and talk to myself. Let go. It doesn't matter. Forget it. Let the past be the past. With these thoughts, we are able to stop the circulation of negativity and not hold on. If we realize that thinking and rethinking negative incidents is not the method to put them right, then we start to become free. However, we get angry. We are overcome by a sense of injustice. We are afraid. And so the train of negative thoughts and attitudes gathers speed. let me have the determined thought to have a positive thought, because positive thoughts create good feelings and a more tolerant attitude towards people. We cannot receive a positive output from a negative input. Let me realize that by blaming and complaining, nothing and no one is going to change for the better. So what to do? Think and act more positively, with more kindness towards others and even towards myself. Let me have patience in my words and compassion in my vision. A positive mind is created when we can tolerate, when we can accommodate and merge. To tolerate is to respect and accept differences between myself and others, understanding that everyone needs their space. Everyone needs to express in their own way. To accommodate is my generosity of heart, which does not focus on what is wrong, but is able to understand what is wrong and forgive it. To merge is to dissolve everything that is of no value anymore, to let it disappear from my mind, but also from my face, and there is no trace of anything negative. When the negativities are dissolved through love and courage, the mind is given a new breath. There is contentment and lightness. And if there are problems or difficulties, I then have the strength to tell my mind, be peaceful, be calm, see and value the positive, because it is there, even if you cannot see it right away. Be peaceful, be calm, see and value the positive. Sit relaxed, let the mind be still, and let yourself step into your inner silence. I focus the energy of my thought, the center of my forehead. I, the point of light, a point of eternal peace. I go to my home, and in my home, I see, I feel the one who is the supreme source of life, the one who is eternally benevolent to all things. The one who is called the eternal truth, the eternal light. And as I come closer and closer, I begin to understand how this being is so pure and remains constantly positive, constantly true. The one who has the knowledge of this universe and of my life. The one who is the supreme source of truth. The one whose state of being knows no sorrow, nor gives any pain or sorrow to any other being. Being truth, the Supreme Being is in a constant state of freedom. And as I come closer and closer, I realize I too must become true. I'm inspired to become totally free, free of all selfish desire. Because in this state of freedom, I recall, I remember my original purity. To be pure is to be real. To be pure is to be natural. The pure is never violent, can never give pain or suffering. The pure maintains the law of life, and the law of life is love. The Supreme Being is the source of love, unconditional love. In essence, my original quality is also of selfless love, but I had forgotten it. But as I come closer to the source, I begin to remember and I begin to experience that pure love once again. This is the love that accepts me. And in this acceptance, I am nurtured, I am healed, my heart opens, my heart begins to trust and to believe in life. Love, the Supreme Source, is love. A love that forgives, a love that gives, a love that allows me to be myself, allows me to be what I truly am. A love that does not interfere or possess. A love that gives space and growth. And as I sit here in silence with you, the Supreme Benevolent Energy, I absorb your rays of love deep into myself. And as I absorb, I am given the courage to change. I am given the faith to believe in myself once again. Your rays of spiritual love make me feel confident that transformation and growth will be achieved. Your love gives me peace. I am at peace with myself. I am in harmony with myself, and I am learning through your love to be in harmony with others. There is no conflict. There is no pain. I'm free. Love gives me the contentment of knowing my true self, but also knowing you, the benevolent one. You never forget who you are. I forget. I forget my value. I forget to respect myself. I forget that all things are within me eternally. Your love helps me to remember. In this link of life, in yoga, with you, I remember who I am. Let me remain in this remembrance of your purity and my original purity, your peace and my original peace, your love and my original love. You gently guide me back to myself. I have awoken. My consciousness is filled with positivity. My attitude is renewed with love and with understanding. Love and understanding.
No more time to waste, no more excuses. Gotta reach out your arms and embrace the sun. No more time for self-pitying abuses. Gotta stand up and shout and say, I am the one. 'Cause there's been too much crying and talk of being free. Gotta jump off that cliff and be who you were born to be. No more time to waste on photos of the past. There's a star with your name on it and a love that's gonna last. 'Cause there's been too much holding on and talk of being free. Gotta take it all with you and be who you were born to be. Now I know the ice is melting, all the ships are going home, and the wind